Now, the day I copped onto this, my life changed everywhere for the better. It's about taking full responsibility for everything you have and take full responsibility for fixing everything in your life. When you blame other people and circumstances for your problems, you rob yourself of the opportunity to learn and to get better. You give people complete control over your life and you stay stuck exactly where you are. You end up getting fucking nowhere and you actually end up becoming bitter and resentful towards everything and everyone in your life because you're just blaming them for where you are and how you're stuck, and you'll never be free to live your life unless you get rid of that blame list you're carrying around. And I know better than anyone, I had a blame list bigger than anyone, but unless you give up that list and stop looking at outside circumstances, you're never going to get fit, you're never going to start a business, you're never going to have peace of mind, you'll never be debt free, you're never going to have any meaningful relationships if you keep blaming outside circumstances for all your setbacks, right? You effectively put them in charge when you hold them responsible. Don't get this concept confused either, right? I'm not victim blaming, let's get that straight. I'm not saying you're the problem and should be blamed for actions that you didn't take. Now, and that others shouldn't take responsibility. But it's not about whose fault it is. Fault and responsibility are not the same thing. Like, don't get it confused. Fault and blaming people is living in the past. Responsibility is about taking control of the future. Let's say you're in a pub one night and some random person comes up and hits you clean in the face. Now, that's obviously not your fault, right? If you're just standing there. So you're not responsible for getting hit, but you are 100% responsible for how you deal with it and the outcome. Now, whether that's retaliating, or getting yourself some treatment or whatever it is, like maybe you can't work as a result and you lose out on pay. You can sit around and moan all you like about it, how unfair it is and how you can't put food on the table as a result, and that's a really horrible situation to be in, and it's not your fault, but no food gets put on the table unless you put it there. Now, that might not be the best example, but what are some common things people would complain about? And maybe some of these things are on your list. Right, okay, so you're unfit because you have no time to exercise. This is probably everyone's favourite one. Now, if your schedule is packed with looking after everyone else, that's not going to change. Right, your boss, your partner, your kids, your ex, your friends, they're going to keep demanding your time and energy. That's not going to change without you doing something about it. Now, so it's normal to complain about it, but what does it do? You're going to be in the exact same position 12 weeks from now unless you take full ownership of the situation. And that could mean going to bed earlier and getting up earlier. It could mean cancelling Netflix and working out when the kids go to bed. It could mean cutting people from your life. So if you're caught for time, it's on you to fix it. People will also complain a lot about the cost of living and having no money. Now, the cost of living is high and it's gone beyond ridiculous, right? Nobody can argue with that. But if we're short on money, that's on us. Right? If you need to get more money, get out and earn it. Work more hours, get another job, go back to school and get a qualification. And I know that's an easy thing to say and it's not an easy thing to do. You can just say this stuff and it's not easy. But if that's what needs to happen, that's what needs to kind of happen. And it's on us to take that responsibility and to go out and do it. We can sit around and complain about it all we like, but it doesn't change the situation. And listen, if you can't earn any money, you could also look at your lifestyle expenditures. It seems strange to me, right, that people are apparently poorer than ever, yet we're living a quality of life never really experienced by humans before, at least if you live in this part of the world anyway. Do we need a TV in every room, especially the massive 70-inch monstrosity you see in the living room? Do we need all the subscriptions and takeaways every weekend? Do we really deserve to go on holidays multiple times a year? Now, I would say that you actually deserve to go once a year. If you end up borrowing loads of money or spending all the money in the world that you have by going on holidays and then coming back and stressing about it, paying off credit cards and everything else and bills for the next 6 months, I would say that going on holidays is a pretty stupid idea and that you actually don't deserve to go. I think I went on holidays there in 2023 at the start, and when I actually looked back, I hadn't been on holidays, a proper holiday, in like 7 or 8 years or something. Because again, that just wasn't on the cards. And if you have a child, right, I see it all the time here, I live around the school. I see kids out here, 17 years of age, with nearly brand new BMWs outside. Does the kid really need a car to drive to school, or could they use their legs or public transport? So again, have a look at lifestyle expenditures if money is an issue. Or when people blame the government. Seriously, right? Yes, the government have responsibilities, and we elect them to do stuff, but guess what? They very consistently do a shit job. right? And if you're blaming the government for your problems, you're in serious, serious trouble. It's not the government's fault, and you'll be waiting a long time if you expect them to fix anything, right? Take ownership and responsibility for your own problems and stop putting other people in control of your life. And I know some of you have been dealt a really shitty hand in life, and it's serious stuff, and I can already hear the comebacks. You don't know how hard I've had it. It's easy for you to say that. Nobody has ever had the amount of setbacks that I've had. But ask yourself, has there ever been anyone with similar circumstances to you achieve the things you want? Of course there has, right? You won't have to look very long before you find someone. I see a lady here every morning in rush hour traffic running the roads with one of those twin buggy things. So she's got like twin babies inside the thing, and she's out running in her shorts and t-shirt every morning. I'm sure she has like a million legitimate excuses as to why she can't do it, but she's making it happen. Now, there are examples everywhere, right? People with a lot worse have achieved far greater than we ever will. It's not about what happens to us, it's about how we respond that will determine how we live out our lives. Will it be easy? No, absolutely not. And for me, it was a long road back from where I was in 2017. I had to cut people from my life. I went back to school full time. I was delivering pizzas every spare hour I had. I moved in with my parents. I quit drinking. I quit smoking. And I basically lost the life I had for 3 years, right? For 3 years, I had nothing really. And I exercised alone in the morning before school because I didn't have the time. I was actually training for my first Ironman at the time. I would be in school from 9 till 5 up in Cork City. And then when I got back, I was delivering pizzas from 6 till midnight. I could only train for 2 hours every morning. And on the weekends, I'd have to train for 6 hours in the morning on my long bike rides. And then I would go in for lunch and go work till midnight. I did that for a full year while training for an Ironman because that's what had to happen. I had too many excuses otherwise. And any activity at that time that didn't involve me getting closer to the life I wanted, I didn't do it. This wasn't fun for me at the time, but the years that have followed have been the best of my life. But I had to pay the price of those miserable years first, and all that started when I got my mindset in order. And you can do this right now from today, right? It takes nothing to start, and I'll actually show you right now how you can do it.